Hello crafters and welcome to P2PCrafts online show, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft Show, our scrapbooking, mixed media art and papercraft community. I'm your host Tamara Habris, lover of all things inky, sticky and sparkly, and I am delighted to be joining you today. P2PCrafts online show brings you over 30 demonstrations and interviews with our talented retailers and guest artists. For all of the details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can find all the latest details plus links to our sponsors and guests. While you're there, make sure that you join our email list so that you can be the first to get all of the updates for upcoming events plus links to all of the replays so you won't miss a thing. We'd like to thank our sponsors Darkroom Door and Uniquely Creative. Darkroom Door is located on the central coast of New South Wales. They're a family-owned and operated business and they believe in supporting independent craft stores. They create unique red rubber stamps and stencils, and through their blog, videos and workshops, Darkroom Door inspires stampers and artists worldwide. Uniquely Creative are passionate about making beautiful stamps, dies and embellishments. Through their Creative Kit Club, they specialise in creating kits with matching papers and products, so it's easy to create your projects at home. Now, whether you're watching live on Facebook or a replay on Facebook or on YouTube, we want to know you're here. So pop into the comments, say hi and ask any questions and we'll do our best to get them answered, or we'll go back and answer them after the session. Let's get started. P2PCrafts online with Sam from Creative Memories. Hi Sam, how are you?
Good, thanks Tamara. How about you?
Not too bad. I just had to take a breath at that last minute. I exhausted myself. So, but can you just tell us a quick overview of what Creative Memories does, just in case there are some new people logged on today because it's a Saturday and they're not at work?
Oh, half their luck. I've got to go to work after this.
So,
Creative Memories is predominantly about preserving photos and memories and keeping them safe for the next generations. But at the end of the day, they're papers, they're embellishments, they're stickers, and all the goodies you could possibly imagine for papercraft, whether it's cards, scrapbooking, etc. All with stunning coordinating designs and, really easy to use.
yeah, I always say whatever you do on a scrapbook page, you can do on a card. It just depends on the sizes that you want to cut. So, and what are you going to do today?
I'm going to do a double page layout.
So another layout, beautiful. And Sam was just telling me before we started that she didn't like the one that she was going to go with. So like all good crafters working under pressure, Sam has decided to change her layout like half an hour before the show. So I'll get you to turn your camera around with your new gadget and we'll come back to you in a second. So yes, as we all know, crafters, why do anything with plenty of time to spare when you could do it at the last minute under massive pressure? I do a lot of my work that way, but it seems to work out okay in the long run, touch wood. Okay, Sam, that seems to have worked very nicely. So, oh, that's pretty. Very colourful.
It is, but they're very subtle colours. So once your photos sort of land on it, you will see the photos and they'll just pop.
So, yeah, that looks so nice as it is. And what sort of, you've got apples down the side there, have you?
Yes, so this is our newest Border Maker cartridge, which is some little apples.
Oh, cute.
So I'll put this one to the side and I'll grab the papers.
Now, Creative Memories do lots of kits, don't they?
They do. So you can do theme packs, which have 4 double-sided sheets and some cardstock, which is enough to do a double-page layout, and matching stickers, or you can choose to get the larger collections, which have mats, stickers, embellishments, albums, etc.
Okay. Oh, albums as well. Okay.
Yep.
And so I take it there's album refills and everything that you'd sell?
Yes.
So
everything that a scrapbooker's heart could desire. So I'm using the Hello Autumn collection today, and I've chosen to use a couple more of my favourite papers out of the collection, which is the green ones. So I'm going to use the green as my base because, like the other layout, I really want to see the leaves and celebrate the leaves and the photos.
Yeah, the leaves are really nice there. I remembered after we finished up the other day that I used to be able to buy skeleton leaves in packets. You could get them. So if you hunt through your drawers, everybody, you might find some that you could add as embellishments.
And then I've got some red and some stripes to sort of complement it.
Oh, that stripe one's nice. And the red. Red's still my favourite.
Just grab my green piece of paper that I dropped on the floor there, just to accent it.
Is that a shiny green?
It's a deep dark green.
Okay, yeah, it just looks really shiny in the camera light.
So it could be the angle of my camera because it seems to be hitting the spot just there.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to cut some red apples. So I'll start with the border maker. So border maker is one of our favourite gadgets, one of my favourites, because it's very, very good for the time pour. So you've got your punch cartridges, you've got your holder, also known affectionately as the Duvamalaki. Has the thingamajiggy, which is also the punch guide and paper guide. So underneath we have a black flap that folds out on top. We have the blue flap that folds up on the top with a magnetic strip down the middle. We slide our paper in, then fold the magnetic strip back down to hold the paper in place. Folding the black underneath, we slide our punch into the holder and clip it in place. Then just put that back in place.
Okay,
then underneath,
so you can put even 12 by 12 papers in there, can't you?
Yes, so it fits the 12 by 12s. Yep. Or smaller pieces, and it will line up.
Okay,
so then you slide the paper into the punch, and you've got lugs and grooves that line up.
Okay, yeah.
So that you know you're in the right place. No more sort of punching upside down. If you're a visual person, on the top, there's also little nodules.
Yep, can see that.
That line up with this little nodule here.
Yeah.
So you just slide along. If it's moving, you know it's not in the right spot. But if it's locked in and the nodules are lined up,
right to go. Okay.
That lines it up perfectly for you without as much as thinking.
Okay.
Wears off your paper at the end, and almost no waste.
Wow.
Very little waste, which is my favourite word.
So.
Favourite is not wasting paper.
Yes, there's heaps of strips and everything scattered around my craft room. Yes, one of the cats came out the other day with a green strip of paper, and I've just thought, how? So everybody's saying hi. Hello, Wendy and Elva and Hermione.
I'm going to sit my borders off to the side so I don't lose them. And I'm going to cut.
So are they smooth, shiny papers?
So they're matte papers. So they're not metallics. They're just matte printed papers.
Yeah, they just look really smooth, as opposed to patterned, I suppose.
Soft, and they do have a shine to them, but they're not necessarily metallic.
Okay.
So if I change, let's see if I... So that might be a little bit better.
Sorry, can you just tell me again what the punch device was called for Wendy?
The border maker system.
Sorry, the border?
Border maker system.
Okay. And you can buy different punches for it, and they all just...
A multitude of punches.
Yep.
So I'm going to make sure I clip the cap on my blade today.
Oh, but don't you want to show them what not to do?
That is an expert skill of mine, but not today. So we're going to cut. Let's go.
This is a fabulous trimmer, everybody. It's got all these different blades that nest in the back of it.
Which I will show you in just a second. So today I'm going to trim my edge with the decal blade. Really quick and easy to use. So I will flip my paper around.
Now, can you hold the edge up to the camera just so people can see the subtlety of the decal edge?
Is that green?
See?
Hold it really.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect.
Very fine.
And such a nice clean cut.
It is, and you can do really fine cuts. Just looking at that, thinking, maybe the red's a bit dark, so I might do some green apples.
You just wanted to use the punch again.
Always. I just want to use toys more than once.
But it's quite quick and easy to do it. I mean, you just...
It is. So just like that.
Because, I mean, I love my dies, but just sometimes a punch is just so much quicker.
That's it. And when you've got small punches that fit in the same contraption, it's really quick and easy.
Okay. So it's, what did you call them, a cartridge system?
Yes, a border maker system, and these are the border maker cartridges. Apples. And then at the end I can decide which apples look better.
So with apples you can have school, you could have picnics, you could have all sorts of different things.
There we go.
Lots of kiddies. When we can gather again.
That's it. Thankfully we've got a backyard now, so we can at least run around and run amok. Yeah. Not in enclosed spaces.
Yes. Give them a football and let them kick.
That's it. Let them go wild outside. So then we are going to turn it around for those left-handers. I'm going to cut a 4.5 mat.
Now you'll put all the measurements on the website at the end of it, down the bottom of our video.
Yes. And pop that back in. And then it's 6.5. And I'm just going to turn it around so that all 4 sides and cut a really fine edge off. So you're wasting almost no paper.
Okay, because you're still using the decal trimmer. Yep, for your matting. Yeah.
So you could choose to do it with a straight trimmer and it would look just as good. But for the ruggedness that autumn brings, now.
Sorry, for those among us who weren't with us for our last one, that's officially called a smidge, the amount that Sam is cutting off the edge.
So with the trimmer, the blades store underneath. So you've got all the different kinds of blades and you can slide them in and out depending on which ones you want to use. And then there's the extendable arm as well.
So, well, that's cute. It's probably really handy trimmer, and it's also got centimetres as well, hasn't it?
Yes, it's got centimetres, it's got inches, it's got your square measurements. So you've got a 3x3, then you've got your photo measurements, and then your half photo measurements so that you can have a nice thin border around photos. Yeah. And then you've got your larger photo size as well.
Yeah, but I seriously just love the fact that all of those cartridges are actually attached to the device. So if you are running around looking for something on your desk, it's your own fault if you haven't put it back where it should be.
That's it. Stripes today. We will put one down there.
Yeah. This is what happens when you change the layout. That's good.
Okay, so we're going to go another 4.5.
It's a lovely deep green.
It is. And I love the fact that the colour goes the entire way through the cardstock. So when you're cutting, you don't end up with the white frayed edges.
Yeah. It's handy when you want that, but when you don't want that, it's frustrating. Because then you've got to find a matching Tombow or Copic and colour the edge.
And just like that, so that you can see how fine of the cuts you can make and still get your edge.
Wow.
Is you've got the edge there, but I've cut off almost nothing. And it's a very precise cut. So it's smaller than a smidge.
I was going to say, what's smaller than a smidge? A half
smidgen?
smidge?
a smidges. Perhaps we need to name it.
We do. We'll have to think on that. Anybody has any bright ideas of what's a smaller measurement than a smidge? Let us know. A smidget?
That could work.
Now, Pat is asking if you have any balloon punches or birthday cakes.
Not at the moment, but I do believe, I think we've got some stickers that have balloons and birthday cakes.
Okay, so I think she's thinking about the punch system.
So depending on, we have had them, and the punches get released most months, but they sell like hotcakes, as they're very popular. So it's sort of a matter of the quicker you get in,
the better.
The better it is.
Yeah. Okay, well, Linda's come back with a half a smidge. Jeanette's come back with a millipuff, which I quite like.
Oh, I do like that.
A pixel.
Millipuff.
So a millipuff. Yes, I think we'll go with millipuff, but thank you for the suggestions. That's really good. A millipuff.
And I'm going to cut a strip of 3 inches.
Now, have you managed to unpack everything, or are you still unpacking with the new move?
We went to get the next ute load of tools for the shed today. So it seems to be that every time I think I've got unpacked, we find something else.
Or you're missing something else. Oh, that's over there. We've got to go and get it.
So I'm going to cut this into 4 3x3s. So with stripe papers, it's just a matter of deciding which direction you want your stripes to go. If there's squares, you can change your mind, but if the rectangles need to go in a certain direction, it's a little harder to change your mind. So then we're going to put one there.
But if you cut one size and decide to go to the other, just make sure you put the first ones aside so that you can use them for another layout, because the paper's much too nice to throw out.
That's it.
There's always something else you can do.
Wow. Apples. Thinking I might go with green apples this time. And then we'll stick it all down with our repositional tape runner, which is great for things like the borders because it sticks to nothing but the paper.
Okay.
So I might do this last once everything else is stuck down. And you really only need a tiny bit just to adhere it.
Yeah, that was hardly anything.
And then if you put it in the wrong spot or you choose to put it on the wrong side of the paper, like this, they just rub off.
Ah.
No discoloration to the paper. And no one's any the wiser that you had a little oops.
An oops. So what's that tape called then?
This is the repositional tape. So it's the oops friend.
Yeah. So it's strong enough to hold down the mounts, but brushable with your finger.
Yes.
So removable at that point. Yeah.
You need almost none.
Yeah. And I guess with scrapbooking pages, we usually put them in albums, don't we? So people aren't really pulling at them a lot.
And even then, once they're behind the page protectors, you've got that added layer of protection.
Yeah.
And because they're repositional, I quite often put a tiny smidge in each corner of my page behind the mat because it just stops them moving sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Because as a card maker, I go a little bit crazy with the double-sided tape. I mean, everything goes right to the edges and all 4 edges get stuck down because cards are looked at, a lot. But as you say, with the scrapbook pages, they can be in a plastic cover, so you don't particularly need to be OTT like me. So now Barbie's asking, No, somebody just asked how many different sorts of punches there were. How many different decorative borders can you get?
At the moment, we have, I believe, 16, but they vary. So they come in and out of stock and they release them fairly regularly. So the ideas and possibilities are endless. In my collection, collecting over the last probably 6 years, I probably have close to 40
Wow.
or 50.
Okay, Alison, so the answer is lots. but the current range seems to be about 16, you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the sort of thing
So
that you keep your eye out for on Facebook Market or something.
Yeah, there's generally about 16 in the catalogue at any given time.
Oh, new stocking just out for Christmas. Thank you, Karen.
Get it on straight.
Yeah, because it's a bit frustrating when you want a specific thing like, balloons or whatever. And yes, they have had them, but that was many years ago and they haven't got them now. And it's like, I need one.
Thankfully, for someone looking for balloons, we haven't had balloons yet, so there is a possibility that it could come at some point.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. And do you buy them individually?
Yes, you can buy the kit, which is the border maker holder, the guide, and 2 cartridges for $59, and then each of the cartridges individually are $29.50.
Okay. And Creative Memories has got a big catalogue, haven't they?
It's fairly sizable. It's not huge.
But you can look through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have an online catalogue as well, so I can probably send you guys the link of that.
There you go, Elva. We'll put some links to the websites at the bottom of these video sessions. So yeah, so you definitely need the system to start with. So might as well buy one with 2 cartridges. Then once you've got that system, you can just buy whichever cartridges you want when they come up.
That's exactly it.
So, you're welcome, Elva. And do you have any photos that you've planned to put on this layout?
This layout specifically. So I will probably post some photos of it on my Facebook page and workshop group before putting photos on it in my album.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm not sure, my daughter's hitting the age where I'm not sure I would be allowed to put photos of her publicly.
Oh, no.
A few years ago, that could have been a different story, but these days, not so much.
So she's 8, was it?
Yes.
Becoming a young lady.
Yes, and has plenty of opinions of her own.
And it's hard because when she wants her own phone, she's just going to post so many selfies.
Oh, I hope not. Because if she does post lots of selfies, they're fair game for mum's scrapbooks. That's my theory on it.
Yes. I used to do that a lot if I needed a photo of a nephew or a niece or something. Just go online, stalk them and grab one.
Looking at it, thinking the leaves I was planning on using might not quite work the way I'd hoped.
So that's the sticker set that comes in the kit.
So there's 3 sheets of stickers, which I have used a little bit over the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see which one. And there's also mats that you can choose from and add to your page.
Oh, already done mats. That's a good idea.
Potentially, one of these could be just that little something I need. And they're all double-sided. So if you don't like one side or you don't have a use for one side, you can use the other side.
Now, just asking for a friend, do you have any pet layouts?
I do have a pet layout. I believe that I did a pet layout on one of my previous videos with P2P using the Puppy Love theme pack.
Might have to look into that.
And that happens to be in the load of unpacked goods sitting in the boot of my car at the moment.
Well, it's a safe place for it. At least you know where it is.
Certainly.
As opposed to being stuck on your craft table, buried amongst something else.
See if I can make this one work.
So you don't need to run that up and down. You can just do one single cut. Okay.
So I'm literally just squaring the top of my circle up with the line here so that I get a nice thin border around it to match my squares.
So the blades last a long time and you can buy replacements singly?
Buy replacements singly. They're $13.50 each as individual replacements. Just trim that down tiny smidget more.
What did we call it? A mini... my memory.
I'm not sure.
A milli...
A millipoof.
A millipoof, that was it.
So there we go, we've cut a millipoof off.
So thank you, Jeanette. We've now got an official millipoof.
And we can sit that there and...
And you're still using just the decal edge one for all of these, aren't you?
Yes, I've used decal edge for the whole lot.
Yeah.
There's that one. Just think grab my red.
What have you lost?
I have some. Piece of red. That's right. I'll play with a piece of green.
Yeah, I'm still struck. That's such a striking green colour. I love it. It'll be really good for Christmas.
It's great for Christmas or pretty much anything, really. It's just a very universal, pretty green.
Yeah. And the Christmas kit has just been released?
The Christmas kit was released on Tuesday, and I will be having a live unveiling video of the box opening when it arrives next week.
Ooh.
So I've got my scrapbooking room all set up.
Okay. Well, make sure you let us know the time and the date for that so people might like to tune in and have a look.
So if they jump over and like the Facebook page, and they're more than welcome to join the online workshop group, which has free challenges, but there's also optional kits that they can participate in for additional challenges and prizes.
Oh, okay.
So there's something for everyone over in the group.
Okay, so again, just if you put the link on the bottom of the video when we finish, that would be great, and then people can find you on your Facebook. Yes. I'm sure Michelle will do that.
Foam squares floating around here somewhere. Just put a couple foam squares on this one.
And so Creative Memories have all those foam squares as well that people can buy?
True. We've got multiple different adhesives. We've got tape runner, mini tape runner, vellum tape runner, the repositional tape runner, foam squares. We've got all sorts of goodies for adhesives, and they have recently brought back what I believe is the photo splits.
Photo splits. You mean photo corners?
So they're not photo corners. They're little squares with a little tab. So similar size to these, except they're flat.
Okay. So basically, if you need to stick it down, just go and have a look at your
Something
page.
to stick it.
Yeah, I just can't believe how little you use of that repositional glue because, as I said, I just stick everything down with tape and it's a lot of tape.
Yeah. No, minimal tape, and it all sticks down and it stays down, and if you put it in the wrong spot, it's really easy to pull back off and reposition.
There are no mistakes in craft. We just leave it there and pretend that's where it was meant to be.
I might scatter some acorns just around until there's photos on it.
Are they little acorns, are they?
They are.
Cute. So there's heaps on the sticker pages so that you can actually get quite a good coverage from many projects.
Certainly is. So multiple pages and plenty of options to coordinate everything.
Yeah. So Gail's just asking if you would stick the page onto another white sheet or if you just put it straight into your 12 by 12 page protector.
I could do either. I could put it straight onto a white sheet or straight onto the page because Creative Memories have both pages and slip-in pocket pages.
Okay.
So depending on what style of scrapbooker you are, I do have pocket pages because I quite often like to use both sides of the paper, and I will put photos and decorations on both sides to make the most of it and make it go further. But that's entirely up to the individual as to how they want to do it.
Yeah, and often it's like if you're not sure what to do, just rest it on that piece of white or piece of black cardstock, and often you'll find that the colours leap out and change. So it really is just whatever takes your fancy at the time once you've got the layout done. So if you think it needs a white border, Gail, then you stick it on a piece of white, and if you think it might go well with black.
So if you do want a little white border around the edge, you would have to trim the slightest edge off around the edge because they are true 12 by 12 sizes.
Yeah. So again, we'd be just looking at the millipoof and taking that off.
Yes. So that's our quick little layout today.
Very nice. That's very pretty. Okay, well, I'll just give you a second to turn your camera around. So, well, that was a great little layout. Those colours, the papers are really, really nice, and they shine so brightly even though they're not actually, glitter pages or coated pages. So, the kits are looking really good. So here we go, back to Sam. There we go. Right, now, I believe that you do some virtual workshops and retreats. Tell everybody about those.
I have a virtual workshop space that anyone's welcome to join. And in there we post weekly challenges. We have virtual workshops that you can either participate in at no cost, or you can choose to get the optional kits that I create out of the larger collections.
Okay, so you get the whole lot and then you actually make smaller kits?
Yes.
You don't have enough to do in your day?
Really not, of course not.
Well, I think in lockdown, kits are just the way to go because it's just so easy to send out the kit with everything in it and then it arrives and people don't have to panic about getting anything except the glue. And if they need adhesive, they can order that from you as well.
And there's, more than enough challenges, whether, we've got different kinds of challenges so that there's different kinds of prizes and there's lots of social interactivity to try and recreate as best we can those live workshop feels online as best we can.
Yeah. You might have to start some Zoom classes where people have bought the kits and say, okay, on this day we're going to actually get together and make the kit in a Zoom room.
Yes. I've had trouble figuring Zoom out.
So I haven't tried one yet either, I'll say. But
once the internet's up and running in the new place, that might be a little bit more of an option.
So.
But there's certainly plenty of videos, lots of layouts and lots of shared ideas between people in the groups.
Yeah.
And the challenges are open for 2 weeks to enter. So they all get posted on one day for the workshop and then you've got 2 weeks to complete them.
Okay, that's excellent. All right, so again, we'll put the links on at the end of the video. So, Sam, thank you so much. It's been a joy talking to you again, and we look forward to the next session with you. So,
No
thank you very much.
worries. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you go. So, another wonderful scrapbooking layout idea from Creative Memories and Sam. So, thank you very much for joining us. We'll have another video coming up soon, so don't go too far away. We will look forward to seeing you later on. Have a crafty day, everybody.